This is one of the phrases that had the biggest impact on my life. What you don't change, you choose. And it sounds harsh, and at first I didn't like hearing it. But the more I thought about it, the more true I realized it was. Every excuse I keep repeating, every habit that I don't change, every situation I keep showing up to, at some point, if I don't change those things, then I'm choosing them. So in this video, I want to talk about what that phrase means and what you can do about it. Most people don't like hearing this phrase because it removes something that we all rely on, which is blame. It's easy to say, oh, if I had a different job, things would be different. If I had more time or more money, maybe I could change situations. And the problem with all of those reasons and any other reasons that you could come up with is that, yeah, in the moment, they might be valid. The problem is that the more you use those reasons not to change, then you find yourself in a position where initially you start tolerating the situation you're in because the excuses make you feel like you have a way out. But then that tolerance turns into accepting the situation. Once you've accepted the situation, that now becomes your new norm. Most people think that life changes in big dramatic moments, but most of the time it doesn't. It happens incrementally, slowly, over time, with little decisions that we can make every day. Maybe it's that you decided to stay in bed instead of going for the run. Maybe it's because you decided to avoid a difficult conversation. Maybe it's because you choose comfort over effort. Whatever it is, all of these little decision points present themselves to us every day. I spoke about in the last section that we move from a position where we tolerate things to accepting things to those things then becoming our new norm. And that happens through all of these very small decisions that we make. So eventually, if you keep choosing something, it becomes a habit. And what we do is we get caught up in our habits, and the habits form how we live our life. So over time, these habits form the direction of your life. And you get to a point where you look back and you think, I wonder why nothing has changed. And it's simple. You kept making the same choices. So what does that mean now? It means we need to look out for something that causes us the most problems when we think about trying to change. And that is the comfort trap. One of the biggest reasons people don't change is comfort. Comfort feels good in the moment. Comfort is easy. But comfort has a hidden cost. The cost is progress. The cost is your potential. The cost is the person you could have been if you had applied some discipline and put some work into the goals you wanted to achieve. But that discipline and that work is uncomfortable. And we do everything that we can to avoid discomfort, and we seek out comfort. Now, this doesn't mean that everything in life is your fault. Life throws things at all of us. But there's a difference between the situations we find ourselves in and what we choose to do about them. Accepting responsibility doesn't mean that you have to take the blame for everything, but it does mean recognizing that you have the power to make decisions in whatever situation you find yourself in. The moment you accept this, something starts to change in your mind. You stop waiting for change to happen and you start looking for areas of your life where you can start putting change into place. So, as I spoke about earlier on, we know that when we change things, those changes are going to be small, but small incremental changes will build habits, and those habits will shape the direction of our life. The fact is that trying to make big changes is going to lead to failure. Most of us pick these massive goals. I'm going to lose X amount of weight. I'm going to go to the gym 6 days a week. I'm going to do whatever it is. Like those massive goals, they lead to failure. Whereas if you pick one small goal in different areas of your life and you work towards those small goals will make meaningful progress. One of the areas in my life where I see these small decisions have the biggest impact is in my running. So, like, I would go for maybe 4 or 5 different runs a week, and for any one of those runs, I could make a decision to stay in bed. I could look outside, maybe it's cold or raining, and I could just say, I'll do tomorrow's run instead. And that decision on that day, maybe as a one off, it might be okay. But I learned over time that the more runs that I put off, the harder it became to go for the next run. And the more runs that I did, the more mental belief it gave me that I could do those runs. And then the next run became easier, and the next run became easier. And now my habit is that I go for a run where for a long time in my life, my habit was I don't run, I was lazy, I didn't move, I didn't exercise, and that had consequences. And when I started to run, I started to put this idea into place of I just need to make one decision today and push forward with that decision. That put me in a position where those small choices that I made, they became a habit. That habit became how I was moving my life. So if there's something I'd like you to take from the video, it's this. I want you to take an honest look at your life. Is there a situation you've been tolerating? Is there a habit you keep repeating? Is there some change you keep putting off that you know you really want to make, but you just keep finding excuses not to do it? Remember the start of the video. What you don't change, you choose. So right now, I want you to think about the next week. I want you to think about one of those goals, and I want you to think about some action that you can put in place to start making progress towards that goal. If you found anything in this video helpful, let me know in the comments. If you like this style of video or you'd like to see a different type of video or a different topic covered, let me know.